One of the coping mechanisms that I'm probably going to end up talking a lot about is writing letters to yourself. So when I say write letters to yourself, this can mean so many different things, and it's actually something that I found to work really great for me, especially when I just feel so overwhelmed. And if it's either I have to vent, or it can be so many different things behind the letter. Like, at least I find it to be therapeutic because it's just a way of releasing the negativity from your mind, everything that's going on. I know this might sound really crazy to some people. I'm sure it does, I don't know, but I have found that this is one of the best coping mechanisms that I've ever tried. And it's writing letters or even texting myself. I know that sounds kind of weird probably, but it actually helped me so much to just be able to kind of stand back from the situation, kind of assess everything that was going on, and then actually give myself the advice that I already know that I feel like I need to hear. A problem that I tend to actually give myself is I will feel like I know what kind of advice that I need to hear, depending on what I'm going through. I usually, all the time, really know deep down, like I know what I feel like I want or need to hear from someone else, and I usually feel like I can only accept that advice if it does come from someone else. It's this whole psychological thing where I know that's what I'm doing, but it just always feels like if I tell myself that it's gonna be okay, or I tell myself it's gonna be better, or I tell myself that it's time to even forgive myself for something maybe that happened in life, it always feels like it's irrelevant to me, like it's not going to be valid until someone else says those words to me. It is still something that I'm working on, don't get me wrong, but when I write a letter to myself, or when I text myself, and I just take that step back, analyze the situation, tell myself the advice that I already know I want to hear, or not even that I want to hear, just that I feel like I need to hear in order to be able to move on from whatever I'm dealing with. There is just something about being able to actually read the words to me that helps me to process it better. And I still am working on being okay with accepting my own advice, accepting what I already know, not feeling the need to hear it from someone else, just being okay with me telling myself these things, because I have definitely learned that you cannot depend on other people. You cannot. I mean, the amount of friends who I have just been so close with and talk to all the time and everything, they are so quick to switch up on you. I don't even know how else to say it, but seriously, they're just so quick to just, I mean, I'm guilty of it too, because if I'm receiving too much negativity, if I feel like they think they're doing me the favor by talking to me, anything like that, I cut them off. Because I've learned nothing's worth it. It's not. And what's funny is those people always seem to think that they were the ones going out of their way for me, and that they were being the good friend to me, and that I was the one that wasn't. Get into that separately. The thing always was that these people wouldn't even give me the slightest bit of advice that I even needed at the time. And usually, if anything, if I would vent to people and open up to them, they would say like, "Aw, I'm sorry." It was always the same people who I was giving paragraphs of advice to. Not even necessarily advice, but just paragraphs of showing I'm listening, I understand, I care about what you're going through. I'll even explain. If it's something that I haven't gone through or experienced, I will say, I'm really sorry, I can't even imagine what you're going through, but I still make sure that I send a decent amount of words to this person and just explain, even though I haven't been through it, that I'm there for them. They can vent anytime. I can say any type of advice that I can think of, even if it's something I haven't been through. And then it was always if I would ever vent. I'm sorry. This is a whole different subject. Definitely another video. But it's just, it goes with the point about writing letters or text to yourself, because it is important to know that you don't need anyone else to validate what you're going through. You don't need anyone else to validate your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions. You don't need anyone to validate any of it. No one but yourself. This just really goes back to a reason why I think it's so important to be able to vent to yourself, to take your own advice. I think it's perfectly fine to become your own friend. They always, like when people get upset with their friends or lose a friend or whatever, they'll be like, it's just me, myself, and I now. It really always was and always will be you, yourself, and I. You. I feel like it sounds so depressing to say it, and I swear I don't mean it that way, because again, it really seriously helped me so much once I realized that at the end of every day, I am the only one who I can depend on. I am the only one that I am guaranteed to have at the end of the day. It really is helpful to become your own friend, and especially to stop being your own worst enemy, and to realize it's okay to give yourself the advice that you need to hear.